Alright guys, welcome back to some more Umineko when they cry. Last time we got to live a day in the life of Beato, who we actually finally learned, or at least, well, we got it shown to us that her name is given by her parents, supposedly, to be Yasuda, shortened to Yasu. So yeah, we got to live a day in the life of Yasu, I guess, and we got to see her experience in the gospel house, and you know, with Shalom by her side and that, and all sorts of trickeries that we got to learn a little bit of also the sorts of trickeries that Genji must have pulled to make sure that that Yasu ended up living in the mansion and being in the mansion while also going to school with Jessica. And yeah, now Fifi is asking how much of everything did Genji know, and at this point, surely you have to think that Genji knew everything, right? You have to. Surely Genji knew everything, right? So we'll see though. We'll see what Genji has to say in response here. And yeah, let's keep it going, basically. I'm not gonna hold you guys up too much. Hopefully you guys didn't mind the light bulb inspection last part that ended up being like 7 minutes long or something at the very end there. But yeah, here we go. How much of this did you know, Genji?
君は黙して何も語らないけれど、いつもすべてを最初から知っていたんじゃないのかい?
Yeah, imagine knowing everything and just keeping it silent for years, decades. And he's still keeping silent. Wow, what a weird man.
19年前、赤ん坊を抱いた使用人が転落し、君は夏日から報告を受けたね。
Decades, man. Decades. A man held everything silent for decades.
そして崖下へ行き、まだ赤ん坊が生きていることに気づいたんじゃないの?
Yeah, that baby was somehow still alive after falling off a cliff, which is actually very impressive. What did Genji do with the baby after that? Did he... Surely he sent it to like Nanjo sent something for inspection, right? He probably sent it, yeah. He probably sent it to Nanjo like, hey, yo, what's up? Any injuries? Is this baby good? He fell from the cliff. Does that mean... That also means Nanjo, if what I'm taking is true, that also means Nanjo must have been silent about it for decades as well. Or at least must have been silent that baby, that Yasu, is the same person that Nazi threw off the cliff 19 years ago. So Nanjo must have been silent about the whole thing for decades as well. When he visited in 1986 and he saw Shannon and Conan, those servants, he must have known, or maybe, presumably, must have known that those servants are the same servants that he probably had to check on 19 years before to ensure, you know, to check on that that no harm was done, right?
生きているか死んでいるか、そのような判断は私にはできかねました。
Okay.
それを判断したのは誰?
決まってるわ。お医者様よ。
So I'm right. He did go to Nanjo.
どうなの? 南條先生?
Yeah, Nanjo, what do you think of all this? Nanjo's so crazy. I did not expect Nanjo to have been involved so much in this Shiromiya business.
よろしいのですかな。私が語っても。
Yeah, go on then.
先生の口からお願いできるのであればお願いします。わかりました。事故の時すぐに源氏さんから連絡が入り、秘密裏に診察するように伝言をされました。
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro.
秘密裏に?
どうして?
クアドリアンのベアトリーチェさんも、そしてその子供である赤ん坊も 戸籍のない存在しないはずの人間でした。公になればいろいろとまずいこともあるでしょうな。
赤ん坊に戸籍を与える準備は進めておりましたが、その時点ではまだ至っておりませんでした。
Oh, so Genji was actually trying to have the baby registered. Wow. So did you manage to have it registered afterwards, or did you just go, ah, it's an orphan. We'll have it registered as an orphan. Who are the original parents? Don't ask about it. Orphan came from somewhere. Where did it come from? Came from somewhere. Yeah.
死なれてはどうにも困る時期だったのです。
A bad time for the baby to die. Okay.
では落ちた使用人は単独事故の扱いに？
夏日は黙して語らない。簡単な工作さ。でも
その赤ん坊は生きてたのね。
さようです。無論大怪我でしたとも。
It was gonna be injured. Yeah, because it fell off the cliff. But I mean, considering the baby managed to live after that, it ended up being Beato, Yasu, Shannon, Kanon. You know, those injuries must not have been that grave then.
あれだけの怪我をして生きながらえたのは奇跡でした。
Right? Because like, I'm assuming at least it didn't didn't need to have like an arm amputated or anything like that, right? You're like, what sort of injuries are we talking about here? You know what I mean? Like, seems like Yasu ended up able to live on. You know, it could, she was still able to walk afterwards. You know what I mean? She was still able to live afterwards, right? It's not like Yasu lives on a wheelchair or something. So it's a miracle it survived. It's a miracle that the injuries. I mean, what severe injuries are we talking about here? You know, like, how did it survive and how did it? You know what I mean? Like, maybe. Oh, you know what could be possible? If the fall is what caused the multiple personality disorder. The fall, maybe like the injuries, right? Cause like their head to kind of spin and then from there slowly. But I was thinking more the multiple personality, I say disorder. I was thinking more the whole multiple personality thing was caused by the amount of stress and trauma that the child had been through. Not just the fall, but their upbringing as well, right? Right? I feel like all of that, to try and cope with it the best they can, they made these multiple personalities, right? That's what I thought. I didn't think that could have been a cause of the injuries from the fall, but now actually it could be. It could be a cause. Maybe they hit their head somehow or something, and then something, something could have happened, Goku style in Dragon Ball Z. Although Goku's a bit different, because Goku, as a baby, hit his head, and that's what made him forget his mission to destroy Earth. Wow, it was such a funny plot point. When I was a kid, I didn't think about it that much. I was thinking, yeah, of course, this plot would make sense. Now, looking back, what a funny plot point. So you're telling me, baby Goku was an alien sent by an alien planet to destroy the entirety of Earth. And as a baby, because he hit his head on a rock as a baby, he ended up growing like a normal human and never realizing that he was a baby until he was like 30 years old or something. And then he's like, oh yeah, and then his brother comes in, he's like, but you're an alien, yeah, what are you doing, bro? Why have you not destroyed Earth yet? It's been 30 years, what are you doing, bro? What? You even have a kid with a human woman. What are you doing, bro? Why do you have a son? What's up, bro? Like, what are you doing? Get out of here. So that whole twist was kind of fun looking back. That yeah, Goku was an alien all along. But and the funny part is, for 150 episodes of the original Dragon Ball, you didn't even know that, right? You watch 150 episodes of Dragon Ball, you have no idea that Goku's an alien, right? Because Goku's a kid, you think he's a normal kid. Oh yeah, but to be fair, for some reason he can turn into a giant monkey, a giant ape. But it's like, it's fantasy. You didn't really question, oh, maybe Goku's an alien. You really think, at least I didn't think about that as a kid, right? You watch 150 episodes of that, and then you watch the first 5 episodes of Dragon Ball Z, and his brother comes in from space and he's like, what have you been doing, man? Because throughout Dragon Ball, you see Goku growing up. He goes from being a baby to being 6 years old, to being 10 years old, to being 16, 18, to then getting married, having a child. You know, you remember the marriage episode? Goku got married to Dragon Ball. Oh, that was great. You know, back then you're like, you can't be turned over. It helps too that Goku also had his tail cut off, so he couldn't transform into giant ape no more. So you kind of forgot it. Yeah, maybe he's an alien. And then his brother comes in. He's like, wait, you had your tail cut off? What are you doing, bro? That's like your biggest asset. You can destroy Earth with that. What are you doing? You can cause major destruction. But yeah, that was... Anyway, why did I start talking about Goku? Oh yeah, hitting the head, right. Because Goku forgot about his mission to destroy the Earth. So, maybe you have something like that going on, hit the head and then personality disorder happened.
もう少し何かの角度が違えば、あるいはもう少し源氏さんが運び込んでくるのが遅かったら、
Yeah?
あらゆる奇跡が集まって、その赤ん坊は生きながらえていたのです。
Man, but if that baby hadn't survived, the Rokujima massacre never would have happened. Or at least, supposedly. So if the Rokujima massacre never would have happened, you know, does Genji regret his decision? I don't think so. Especially because Genji seems like he was an accomplice of it. He was kind of helping. He feels like Genji was helping out. So I don't think Genji regrets saving the baby. And I wouldn't regret it either. Even if I know that a baby that I save ends up being a serial killer, at the moment when I'm saving the baby, I don't know that. It's a baby. A baby's faultless. A baby has done no wrong. You know what I mean? If I say serial killer, you know, it ends up pulling a massacre. And besides, regardless of motive, you shouldn't massacre a whole island of people or a whole, you know, family. You shouldn't do that, regardless of motive. You know, you can understand the motive, you can understand why they did it. That doesn't mean make it okay, right? Doesn't mean that it's acceptable or you know, it's faultless. But you know what I mean, right? Regardless, I think, you know, even if it's a baby that is resulted from incest or whatever, I'm still saving that baby, right? I don't care even if I know in the future that baby ends up killing people, I'm gonna try to prevent the baby from killing people, but ultimately the baby itself hasn't done anything wrong. So at least that's my mindset there. This kind of topic reminds me of Monster. Now I'm going off topic from Dragon Ball to Monster. I don't know if you guys have watched Monster. I watched Monster several years back. But it brings up the topic of unconditional love and you know, should... Because a big part of the whole story is how the main character and the antagonist of the whole series, you know, the main character saving the antagonist of the series as a child, then led up to this antagonist. Well, I mean, eventually the antagonist ended up becoming a serial killer, right? And so the antagonist of the series kind of tries to have the main character, who's a doctor, he's a surgeon, try to question his actions, like, should you just save me? Would it have been better if you didn't save me when I was a child? Would it have been better for you to save this other person? Because the main character, the surgeon, had an option of either saving the child or another person, an older man, that actually would have been very beneficial for him financially. So in multiple ways, you'd think he'd go for the older man. But he didn't go. He went for the child because of his morals. Firstly, the child came first, as in the child came to get help from to the hospital first. And it's a child, so you know, it's a child versus an old man, a relatively old man, right? He's a middle-aged man, you know. Added to the fact that the child came first, yes, politically, you want to save, you think, oh, you should save the older man, but morally, right, you know, you should go for the child. So he chose the child, and the child ended up being a serial killer. And so it's a whole spiral of things, but it's one of those things where I don't want to spoil Monster, but at least for me, the way I feel it, I would not regret saving a child or a baby, despite knowing that they do horrible things in the future or kill people even in the future, because I think the baby ultimately isn't at fault here. But anyway, Anyway, you could argue. Yeah, and even okay. That you could even ask me a good question. All right, I mean, even if the baby, let's say, kills your child. Let's say if I have a child, or if a family member of mine, maybe a relative of mine, maybe one of my parents or something, the baby that I save ends up being my parents. Would you still save the baby? And I would say, well, I don't want to answer the question here, but should I answer that question? No, I'm not gonna answer that question right here. But I feel like you guys know the answer. You should know the answer. So I'm not gonna say specifically, but you should know the answer to that question by now, about everything I've said. So, but it's a good thing to ponder. I say it's a good thing to ponder on. It's something you can ponder on if you want to. Yeah. Okay. The baby only mentions survives thanks to a series of miracles. Okay.
私は諦めていました。まさか生きているはずがないと思ったのです。
But it just did.
でも生きていた。
生命のなんと力強きこと。
You say that, but life is also very fragile, you know. People die easily, I feel like. I see people die so easily for the dumbest reasons. But they also survive other people also survive some of the craziest things that could ever happen to you. So, at this point, it's wild. Who knows?
これは運命だわ。
Maybe it was fated to happen.
運命。生き延びてやがては何かをなせという運命。
Well, accomplish something great. You could say that if you want to, from one perspective.
はい、私はこれを何かの運命だと思いました。六軒島で生涯を終えられたクワドリアンのベアトリーチェ様の血がこの子に生き延びさせたに違いないと、そう思ったのです。
しかし源氏は赤ん坊が生きながらえたことを主人の金蔵には伝えなかった。
And so he didn't, okay?
不幸な事故で転落し死亡したと短く伝えた。
Okay.
金蔵は嘆き悲しんだが、その嘆きは悲しみよりも狂気に彩られたものだった。
おお、ベアトリーチェよ、なぜに再び我が元より逃げ去るのか。
You say that, but I'm also thinking, if I was Kinzo, wouldn't I start suspecting something? Like, okay, Kyodorian Beato dies by falling off a cliff, and then the daughter I have with her also ends up dying by falling, by getting thrown off a cliff. This time thrown off a cliff, or falls off a cliff as well. If I was Kinzo, I feel like I'd suspect that something sus is going on. Then they die within the same year at the same time. You wouldn't think someone is purposely trying to kill this Beato person. You wouldn't think someone's trying to kill someone's trying to add my bloodline on that side of things. If I was Kinzo, I'd actually suspect Genji there, I feel like I would. Because think of it from Kinzo's POV, right? I mean, he went to his whole madness and kept himself in study and all. But think about it, right? Your daughter ends up dying by falling off a cliff in an accident with Rosa, supposedly. And then Genji tells you about that story. And then the daughter you had with your daughter, again, messed up, also ends up dying within the same year because of an accident with Nazi. So, and then Genji comes in to tell her the story about that. So, if I was Kinzo, really, wouldn't I question that? Wouldn't I be like, something weird going on here? Even though it's all a coincidence, I would question, if you were Kinzo, I would question if there's some foul play going on. I would. I mean, yeah, sure, the baby ended up surviving, but Kinzo doesn't know that. Kinzo thought the baby died. So if I was Kinzo, I would question if someone's purposely trying to kill his illegitimate family on purpose. Maybe Kinzo didn't because he was just too busy with the occult, and he also probably thought that even if someone is trying to purposely kill his illegitimate family, he thought it would be too much of a bother at this point, and he kind of brought it onto himself, so he didn't bother. and he was too busy with his occult stuff and going, "Whoa, Beatrice!" that he just kind of stopped bothering with it too much. But it's an interesting thought. It's an interesting thought. What would you guys think if you were Kinzo? What would you guys think? All right.
今度こそ過ちを繰り返すまいと誓ったのに、なぜに
源氏は尊敬する主人のことをただ一つだけ信じていないことがあった。それはベアトリーチェの孫を果たして本当に家族として迎え入れられるのかである。
As family. Right. Would he accept it as family or accept it as wife, child number 2 in the most messed up way possible?
源氏はクワドリアのベアトリーチェにもずっと仕えていた。
Yeah.
その胸中についても詳しかった。彼女が金蔵の寵愛を一身に受け、父として敬愛していたことも。しかしそれは金蔵のそれとは異なった。金蔵は彼女をベアトリーチェの生まれ変わりと思い、亡きベアトリーチェへの万感の思いの慰み者にしようとした。その思いをクワドリアのベアトリーチェが受け入れきれるわけもない。彼女は父と思い尊敬してきた金蔵自らに純血を奪われることになるのである。
Oh, you said it. Oh, you said it. It's pain. I mean, I've almost got accustomed to that fact now, but it still is painful. It still is. I can't numb myself to it. What Kinzo did really is messed up. It is so messed up. I thought of her as her father. That is so messed up, man. I can never think of it as anything but messed up. Still over her chest.
自分は父と思ってたのに、向こうは妻と思ってた。
Man.
それは両立できぬ禁じられた
金蔵様のお気持ちもわからぬわけではありません。金蔵様とて彼女が生まれた時から亡きベアトリーチェ様の面影を移して慰み者にしようなどと。
Yeah, it was a gradual process as she grew up. And then by the time she became 19, 18,
思っていたわけではありません。
don't say it like that. He's plaything. I mean, you're not wrong, but it's so messed up. So messed up, man.
私もお酒を飲みながら聞かされたことはあります。
Oh, what did he say?
私は笑い話と思って聞いておりましたが。
He thought he was joking about calling his own daughter his wife.
育つほどに母に生き写しになる驚きを。
年を重ねるごとに抑えられぬ禁じられた感情を。
Man. But I guess the whole point of this plot point is this is not supposed to make the reader uncomfortable. This is supposed to make me uncomfortable reading all this. It's not supposed to be it's supposed to be messed up. You're supposed to think this is all sorts of crazy.
悲劇が繰り返されるのではないか。
So that's why Genji hit the baby. So he thought for somehow Kendo might start thinking of his, well, I say granddaughter, but also daughter, both daughter and granddaughter. He might start thinking of her as Beatrice reborn number 2. So Genji tried to hide it away. I see.
私はそう思いました。
I understand that view. What did Nanjo think then? Did you share that view with Nanjo? Because Nanjo knew the truth. What did Nanjo think? Nanjo knew that the baby was alive. What about Nanjo?
ベアトリーチェ様は苦しんでおられました。しかしついにご自身の気持ちと 金蔵様の気持ちが違うことに理解が及ばなかったのです。私はベアトリーチェ様より何度も胸の内を打ち明けられ相談を受けました。しかし私には申し上げられませんでした。
And by bad teacher sama in this case, you mean the third, right? Yasu in this case. Tell the truth about her parents, I guess.
それは確かに言えないね。
I'm guessing that's what who he's referring to.
父を敬愛する人があなたを死んだ母の代用品にしようと思ってるなんて。
Maybe he's talking about Beatrice the second. Maybe. Maybe he's talking about Kyodoro and Beato.
一応金蔵さんの名誉のために申し上げる。金蔵さんも苦しんでおられた。生き写しになる娘が娘と思えなくなると苦しんでおられた。私は父として愛しなさいと助言した。金蔵さんも理性と良心に従い抗われたと思う。
金蔵は愛した。亡きベアトリーチェの忘れがたみである娘に愛情を注いだ。父として注いだ。しかしならばなぜに娘に母と同じ名を与えたのか。
Then why did he end up giving her daughter a different name, Yasuda? Where did that name come from? Or is that a Genji thing, like I suspect? That might be a Genji thing, Yasuda.
金蔵の罪は彼女が生を受けた時より始まっているのだ。彼女を出産し、その引き換えのように死んだベアトリーチェ。その名をそのまま娘に与えた。金蔵は彼女が生まれたその瞬間から彼女をベアトリーチェの生まれ変わりだと決めていたのである。
つまりリオンとは悲劇を犯した金蔵がその罪を悔い後宮家に正しい形で迎え入れた存在ということだ。
そういうことよ。他のかけらの話をするとお尻をつねられそうだけれど、リオンが迎え入れられながら再び金蔵が過ちを犯すかけらなんてのもあったりして。
No, you don't want to think about that possibility, Bern. You do not want to think about that possibility. That Kinzo does the same mistake twice.
そのかけらも探してみる。
You're crazy, but we know this.
痛くありません、そんなもの。人の人生のあらゆる場所に最悪の可能性や妄想を勝手に混ぜ込んで、その運命を嘲笑うのがあなたの仕事なんですか？
残念なことにこいつはそういう悪魔だ。
魔女よ、失礼ね。
Corrected you there.
源氏はそういう最悪の未来を予見し、より良い未来になり、わざと赤ん坊は死んだと虚偽を伝えたというわけだ。
そうよ、実の娘に手をかけてほとぼりも冷めない男よ。ベアトリーチェの気持ちを知り同情していた源氏は金蔵のことをたやすく信じることができなかったの。
金蔵の忠実なしもべである源氏は、
源氏は公私をしっかりと使い分けられる男よ。金蔵に忠誠を尽くす一方で、娘に対して犯した過ちは容易に許されるべきではないと思っていたの。
Understandable.
かもな。源氏はリオンの存在が容易に知れることがないよう3つも年齢を詐称させてる。
確かにこの世界の私は1976年に小学校入学になってる。その年には自分はもう4年生になってるはずです。
Yeah, that adds up.
病弱だったことが理由にならないなら、源氏はおそらく入念に生まれ年もごまかそうとしたんだ。19年前の赤ん坊のことを金蔵だけでなく夏日だって簡単には忘れたはず。そこにその年に生まれた不審な幼い使用人が入ってきた。
Yep, she would have. I agree. I agree, Natsu would have picked up on that for sure. For sure. No way Natsu wouldn't have picked up on that. If, yeah, 9-year-old servant comes in. Yeah, Natsu would have known. So, Genji did what he had to do and lowered the age. Alright. Had the child been too sick to go to school for 3 years? Or had the age been faked so that Natsu wouldn't figure everything out?
いずれにせよ、この世界のお前は年を3つ少なく教えられているはずだ。
ご名答。この世界のリオンは生まれつき年を3つごまかされてる。
That adds up with Shannon and Connon's age. Yep.
虚弱で小柄。発育不良だったしね。案外ごまかせたみたいだわ。
And I guess people believed it. Okay, sure. 3 years is a pretty big difference when you're in that age range. You know, in most young people's age range, 3 years is quite a lot. You know, like okay, 28 to 31, not a big difference. Not a big difference at all. 6 to 9 or 12 to 15 or something, big difference. So you got puberty around then, and then you know the kid changes a lot. So, but I guess Genji managed to fake it. So good on Genji. Back to the stage.
源氏は見届けねばと思った。金蔵が果たしてベアトリーチェの子を子として受け入れられるや否や、適齢になるまでを福音の家で過ごさせ、幼き使用人として呼び寄せる。父も子も互いに互いを知らない。
Right, because also Yasu wouldn't have known that Kinzo is her father.
源氏は思った。もしも真に親子の愛情があるならば、金蔵はこの子に亡き母と娘の面影を見るだろう。
Right. He would notice that Yasu is that child. Okay. Interesting thought process there, Genji. Okay.
そして誰に明かされずとも親子の絆を取り戻せるに違いない。そう思った。
It didn't go that way though.
あるいはその時はやがて自然に訪れるだろう。
Especially because it seems like Yasu figured out the truth before Kinzo figured out the truth. If Kinzo ever figured out the truth at all. Kinzo may never figure out the truth before his death.
その時に父と子に真実を話せばよい。その日がやがて訪れることを信じて、源氏は何も知らせず教えず。
Other than Nanjo knew, right?
運命の日を待ちながらベアトリーチェの子を見守るのである。
Nanjo knew, right? Nanjo knew. Nanjo. And time continued to pass. Days slid by as he quietly watched over Beatrice's child. Chapter over. Cool. The
第
first
2章
friend.
初めての友人。
Okay, so each chapter is a new act. So we're now at Act 2. We're having 9 acts. Okay. A new friend? Or the first friend or something?
ヤス、
Yasu.
あんたちびぼうきどうしたの？
What you do with the small broom? Wait a minute. 9 acts started in 1976. So Act 1, Act 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This 9-act structure should end in 1984 then, right? Right? Should end in 1984. So it should end just around before the if this is time passing and then 1 year goes by, so then we go every year. So it's gonna end until right before the massacre happens. Interesting. So we're gonna grow up along with Yasu here. Slowly but surely, we'll grow up with Yasu and see how her life went along and developed. I see.
窓枠掃除用に使ってなかったっけ？
Ah. The small broom is a small, thin broom that looks like a large paintbrush. We use it to clear out the dust in small corners, like window frames. It's one of the cleaning tools I was put in charge of.
しっかりしなさいよ。あんたに任せたでしょ。何やってんのよ、どんくさい。
Ah, it's Satan.
ほら、急いで探しておいで。奥様に見つかる前に、急いで。
どうした？
Belfiker! Woo! Hello, Belfiker.
ヤスがちびぼうきまたどこかでなくしてきたのよ。
Again, this is not a first time thing.
こいつ物をなくす天才。
だからヤスに物を持たすなといつも言っている。そいつはそそっかしいからいつも物をなくす。
一生懸命やってるんだからそんなこと言っちゃいけません。ほら、急いで探してらっしゃい。待ってるから。
Okay. Not wanting to hear the servants complain even more, I spun around and headed off. If you lose a tool, you get in trouble. If no one knows who did it, we all get yelled at. So one of them will probably tell Madame that it was my fault. Still, it's my fault that I lost it in the first place. So this time it actually is your fault. I wonder when I lost it. When? We did a big clean of the entire chapel today, and that's good. The chapel is a large building behind the mansion. However, no one ever goes near it, normally. Even so, we're ordered to clean the chapel a few times each year. Kinzo calls it a sacred building, so Natsu is very strict about it. We cleaned every little nook and cranny from top to bottom. It took all day, yeah, I bet. Cleaning the chapel sounds like it took all day. Even if it is many of you working together, it still sounds like it will take all day. That's like a whole day project, cleaning all of it. I've been put in charge of cleaning the window frames, but I was also given many smaller tasks. Well, those small jobs kept me busy. I must have completely forgotten about the small broom and left it lying around somewhere. I hate myself for doing this. This isn't the first time this has happened. It happens all the time. Every time I set something down, it always disappears. It goes somewhere else, vanishes. I wonder if someone is purposely taking it from you to give you the blame. That sounds like something someone would do. to get at Yasu. I've come to think that these might be pranks by the witch Beatrice, imagine. The ghost of the witch Beatrice borrowed the power of Rokunium's evil spirits to become reborn. Until Kumasawa-san told me, I never knew of the meaning of the shrine on the rocks by the sea.
Kumasawaが語りしは、漁師たちの間に語り継がれし古き古き物語。かつて六軒島は悪食島と呼ばれ、人の魂を食らう恐ろしい悪霊が住んでいたと伝える物語。
ねえ熊沢、僕たちにも聞かせてよ。
恐ろしい恐ろしい、六軒島の悪霊の物語よ。
Ho 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 ho. Yeah, I knew it.
いいですともいいですとも。
I knew she was gonna laugh like that.
六軒島はかつては小豆島という名でした。
I thought it was Akujikijima, but I guess it's Azukijima.
でももっと大昔
Okay.
悪食島でした。
I was like, I thought it was called Akujikijima. I didn't think it was called Azukijima. But yeah, alright, cool. Kumasawa clarified for us. Thank you, Kumasawa.
島に近寄る船乗りを海の底に引きずり込んで魂を食らうと噂されておりまして。
Sounds scary.
そんな恐ろしい悪霊がこの島にいるんでございますよ。
Alright.
それは熊沢の好む定番の怪談。新しい使用人がやってくるたびに聞かせるお約束の怪談。普段ならばくだらないと笑い捨てられるそれも、後ろ宮家の屋敷以外に何も存在せず、嵐の夜には不気味なうなりを聞かせるこの寂しい六軒島では、誰もが神妙に耳を傾けるのだった。
あの海岸の社は悪霊を封じ込めるためだったのね。
親方様も薄気味悪いオカルト趣味をお持ちだし、
お屋敷も薄気味悪くて何かが潜んでそう。
そうですとも。旅の修験者がようやく抑え込むのが精一杯。かろうじて封じ込められてはいますが、今も夜な夜な犠牲者を求めて夜の屋敷を徘徊しているのですよ。
親方様の書斎見た？
見たわ。まるで悪魔の実験室だわ。
親方様は悪魔の研究をしているって噂だよ。
死んだ愛人ベアトリーチェを蘇らせる研究だって言ってたわ。
その魔法の実験の生贄に子供たちを呼び寄せてるんじゃないかって。
親方様に一人で書斎に来いって言われたらどうしよ
う。なんかね、昔書斎に行ったまま帰ってこない子がいたらしいよ。
きっと亡霊のベアトリーチェの新しい肉体にする実験の犠牲になったんだわ。
そうですとも。ベアトリーチェ様が肉体を求め亡霊となってさまよっておられるのです。2階の貴賓室はベアトリーチェ様の住みか。お部屋を掃除するときはくれぐれも霊を失することはあってはなりませんよ。さもないと
She got real up close and personal, huh, Kumasawa?
思春期の想像力たくましき少年少女たちにとって怪談は恐ろしいながらも魅力的なおとぎ話であった。一つの物語を共有し共感することで連帯感が生まれる。すると共感は義務となり、それを受け入れることが共同体に加わる通過儀礼のようになる。ずっと昔からそれは繰り返され受け継がれてきたのだ。
ええ、私も六軒島でお勤めをするようになってすぐにその話を
Also known as in 1976.
熊沢さんや先輩方に聞かされました。
僕も聞かされたよ。主に姉さんにね。
私も聞かされましたとも。主に熊沢さんでした。
臆病そうなシャノンはともかく、男の子のカノンや大の大人のゴーダまで怪談を信じたの？
I mean, canon sure, but Gora? Bruh.
僕は別に信じてたわけでは。
怪談やジンクスなどはどこの職場にもあるものです。私がかつて勤めておりましたホテルにもいくつもそういう話がありましたとも。つまりバカバカしい話だと思って気にしなかった？
Hotel ghost stories are pretty common. I've heard a lot of them myself.
空気を読むってとこはあったかもしれない。
ですね。怪談もジンクスもその職場のローカルルールです。それに新参者が背けば打ち解けることはできませんからね。
そういうこと。魔女なんているものか。バカバカしいなんて言うと姉さんと喧嘩になるからね。上辺だけでも合わせた方が楽だったし。
もうそんな気持ちじゃバチが当たるよ。大怪我をした人もいたらしいんだから。
Yeah, I heard about that servant, that story, yeah.
そんな感じでどこの職場でもそういう話はあるものです。職場の怪談と会社創業者のとんでも武勇伝はどんなに突拍子がなくても受け入れて信じる。それが新しい職場に溶け込むということですとも。
みんな大人だね。
I went to each window around the chapel in the order I had cleaned them, searching carefully in all the places I might have left it. I'd been cleaning windows with it, so I probably set it down near one of those. When did I leave it behind, I wonder? Now that I think about it, I don't think I had it anymore when I reached the last window. So I must have completely forgotten to clean that window frame. Wow. That's crazy, y'all. So you kept forgetting to clean a window frame? Ah! Through the window, I could see the others sleeping in groups. Shannon turned around and glanced up in my direction, looking worried. I don't want to be responsible for making everyone wait, so it's actually a relief that they're leaving without me. Still, naive though it may have been, I wanted them to wait. The sun's beginning to set, and the chapel's getting darker and darker. I don't want to hang around in a place like this all by myself. I'd better find a small broom fast. No, that's not all. I also need to clean the window frames I forgot. Madame is strict. She'll probably check all the windows carefully. If she does, I'll be the one that gets in trouble tomorrow. But really, where did I lose it? Why did I lose it? The darkness grew and grew. When it became dark enough that I would need a light before long, I began to panic. I dashed around and around the chapel, tears streaming down my face. As I stumbled about pathetically, I could feel the presence of a prankster witch giggling at me from under the door and up by the ceiling. The ghost of Beatrice, the master's mistress, wanders about in search of a body to this very day. As she gains the power of Rockenjima's evil spirits, her strength steadily grows, and she waits for the day of her resurrection. And, for some reason, she singled me out. And if I ever take my eyes off something for a second, she snatches it away and hides it. This isn't the first time this has happened. Whenever I look away, keys, handkerchiefs, pencils, erasers, all of them vanish almost right away. Okay, so you're clearly getting bullied. Cool. I put things down planning to use them later, or because that's obviously the right place to leave them. And still they disappear as soon as I turn around. It isn't someone hiding them as a prank. It's happened many times when I'm the only person around. Oh! Everyone always says I'm too careless and forgetful, and they laugh at me, get mad at me. So maybe it's not bullying. I do try to be alert, but like some kind of bad joke, I lose things easily when I forget about them for just a short while. So, sometimes, I think, I bet this eraser is going to disappear just like everything else, and I stare at it. That's the only time when it doesn't disappear. Nothing disappears when I'm alert. So then, I think I'm safe, but the moment I start to think that and relax just a little bit, a different thing will disappear instead. Why is it always me? Now, who's laughing? Yeah, I hear it. I can hear that witch laughing at me as I lamely run around in circles. Listening to that voiceless laugh, I finally slammed my hands against the wall, crying tears of frustration. Please, just stop it! Why do you always hide my things and get me in trouble? The witch answers.
愚か。決まっておろうが。そなたがそうして困ってうろたえている姿が面白いから以外にどんな理由があろうか。
She almost kind of sounds like Featherine. Where is Featherine? We haven't seen her all episode. She was a very important character in episode 6, but episode 7? Same thing with Angie, to be fair. And Batter. Batter was very briefly here this episode. Amber Gilia. Very briefly here. But yeah, they're all gone. Ronob's gone too. Yeah, we've had a very different episode compared to usual, to be fair. I felt so frustrated. I knew all along that was the reason, but the witch being so blatant about it was incredibly annoying. This has been a very Beato Yasu centered episode, which makes sense. This is where we get all the Beato answers, I guess. I can tell that small broom is somewhere in this chapel. No, that's not quite it. Until the very moment I walked up to this window, I'm sure it was right by this window frame. That's right, I'm sure I put it right here by this window. But the prankster witch Beatrice uses her magic. And just before I reach the spot, she instantly teleports the small broom to the next window over. The instant I approach the next window, a hole appears beneath the small broom, swallowing it up. And it comes out by the next window after that. It lands right there, perfectly still, as it was there the whole time. This happens over and over again. As I run up to one window, the small broom falls into a magic hole and goes to the next window. And when I go to that window, it goes to the next window. That's exactly how she's teasing me. I can tell. So no matter how much I search, it'll be useless. But if I stop searching, it'll be just sitting there by one window or another. So this isn't a search. It's a test of endurance. I keep chasing after the small broom, and Beatrice keeps making it escape to the next window over, trying to make me give up. This is an eternal chase that'll end only when one of us gives up. So, I keep going around in circles, searching for the windows, even when I know I've already searched them. If it's not by this one, then the next one, and the next one. Which keeps moving the small broom to the next window, and the next one. Just give it a rest. How long are you going to make fun of me? This isn't the only time. You always do this, always. Terminal entrance? The shrill, voiceless laugh of the formless witch continues to mock my sobbing. The witch is right beside me, laughing at me. As I dash around the chapel, she's following along with me, taunting me. Ooh, what is this? Ew, this sound, yo! Ooh, okay. Then, she must be there. She's right behind me, just over my shoulder, cackling away at this very moment. I know that turning around won't help, since she has no form. I can try to look, but I mustn't look with my eyes. Once my eyes tell me there's nothing there, I won't be able to see. Okay. I learned that from the director of the Gospel House. You mustn't try to look with your real eyes. You must see with your mind's eye. The whole world is filled with God's love. Many blessings of everyday life, one can find God and angels and the Holy Ghost. If you look with your eyes, you won't be able to see them, so you won't be able to feel them or understand them. Instead, you must quietly understand them with the eye of your heart. You don't look and have your eyes reflect their image. You see and picture them in your mind. In this way, I learned how to recognize beings not of this world at the Gospel House. Aww. This power doesn't only allow you to see God. It allows you to see all those not of this world. Please, stop it now. Stop this prank.
ほう、わらわに話しかけることができるというのか。
I'm clumsy, bad at my job, and I do forget where I put things a lot. But I know which things were my fault, and which things were because of your pranks.
これは姿なきわらわを知覚するだけでなく、わらわのささやかな遊びまでも理解するとは思ったより、お前は面白い存在ではないか。Yasu.
Whose voice is that, by the way? The voice of this formless witch. Because it's not Sayaka, I think. Ohara, I think. The one that voices Beato normally. I think it's a different voice. But I don't know, I could be wrong. It could just be a very, very talented switchover again. Because she was able to voice Korodoro and Beato as well, which is incredibly impressive. And check Beato. I'm usually called Yasu when one of the older servants is laughing behind my back at some mistake I've made. So, when I hear that name, it feels bad. She deliberately called me not by the blessed name given to me by the Gospel House, but by that unblessed name. What is the blessed name given by the Gospel House anyway? To Yasu. Yasuda. What did they give? What name did he give her? Was it Shannon? Was that the name they gave her? Shannon? But how did you combine Yasu to make Shannon? Upsetting the heart is a classic move for the evil beings to make. That is their way of attempting to prevent others from perceiving them. To beings like witches, being understood is like showing them out into the light of day. It won't work. In the Gospel House, I learned how to perceive those not of this world. So, I already understand you.
面白いやつだ。吹けば飛ぶような儚い存在であったわらわを捉えて離さぬとはな。気に入ったぞ、ヤス。
But she could be better. It won't work. I understand you now, and you're in my grasp. No matter how many unpleasant things you say, you'll just expose the ugliness of your heart. Without turning around, I slowly let my field of vision fill the entire chapel. It was as though the viewpoint of my soul was floating out from the shell of my head. See, inch by inch, my field of vision is floating out of my head and drifting upwards. As I look down at myself, standing there with head hanging and eyes tightly shut, my mind's eye, very slowly, rose up to the ceiling of the chapel. And when I looked down from there, I looked down at myself, standing in the center of the chapel, and the witch standing behind me. Apparently, the witch realized that she was being seen. Gob! That's the voice! Ah, it's Gob! Of course! The hole in the ground should have been the giveaway. The teleportation holes in the ground should have been the giveaway. I'm dumb. That's... Yeah, alright. She turned around and raised her eyes to look at my mind's eye, floating by the ceiling. Okay. At last, I could see the witch Beatrice with my mind's eye. And in this case, that witch is Gob? Huh? Gob, yeah, that is Gob's voice. Alright, fair. The demonic lips twisted in an ugly curve. It was clearly a challenging, repulsive, deviant smile. She wore a blood-red dress and hat. The design was completely different from anything humans wore. Her hair was blonde. It had countless beautiful curls, like a princess from a picture book. But there was no trace of cuteness about her.
そなたは他の人間たちとは少し違うように思っていたが、どうやらそれはわらわの間違いだったようだ。そなたは少しどころか、他の人間たちとはまるで違うらしい。
She's not cute, but she is well endowed. I will say that about Gob. You sad witch, who can be seen by no one, heard by no one. Have you been pulling these pranks all the time just to catch the attention of humans?
わらわの貧弱なる魔力を尽くし、人間どもの隙に介入するが、何をしても奴らは魔法とは思わぬ。ほんのちょっとした勘違いと決めつけ、わらわの存在をケーキのろうそくでも吹き消すかのように簡単に消し去ってしまう。
If so, then I've just saved you, because I understand you and perceive you.
救うだ。わらわにとってそなたとの出会いなど、新しい暇つぶし以上でも以下でもないわ。
This OST is going in, yo. I don't know if it completely fits the scene, but hey, man, it's hitting. getting dark. I don't have the time to play with you anymore.
おやおや、これはすまぬ。夢中で遊んでいると暗くなるのに気づかぬものだ。
Please give it back. My cleaning tool.
ちびぼうきとやらか。あるぞ、その隣の窓辺に。
But as soon as I get close, you'll move it to the next window over.
我が姿が神出鬼没であるように、指を一つ鳴らすだけでこのように自由自在よ。
The witch snapped her fingers, and various things throughout the chapel were sucked into black pitfalls beneath them, disappearing. No, they didn't disappear. They instantly vanished into the dark holes. All the dark holes appeared in completely different parts of the chapel. The vanished objects fell out of those. Chairs, musical scores, clocks, and vases started disappearing all across the rooms. It felt as though countless tools were flying about the chapel.
やれはするが、やりはせぬ。さすがにこれではいたずらの域を超えるのでな。
I wonder where a witch draws the line between pranks and magic. When she snapped her fingers again, all the objects flying about so energetically returned to their original spots, and silence fell.
そなたをわらわは気に入ったぞ。わらわを捕らえたとな。それは同じであるわ。わらわがそなたを捕らえたのと同じことであるぞ。
So just grasp each other then, and make out. Woo! Power of love. The gospel director told me that I mustn't try to see evil beings. If you see them, they will haunt you. Now that I understood the switch, a bond had been formed between us.
その通り。そなたがわらわを認めたおかげで、わらわはそなたとの縁を得た。日々に退屈していたわらわにとって、そなたごとき幼子であっても話し相手が生まれるのは良いことだ。
I'll talk to you from time to time. So, will you stop pulling pranks like this?
いや、話し相手ではない。遊び相手であるわ。遊びならばいたずらはつきものであろう。まあよい。今日はこれで十分楽しんだ。日が陰り、月が満ちてきた。わらわもそなたの前にいつまでも姿を現すのは疲れる。今日はこれにてお開きとしようではないか。ほうき一本でそなたとたっぷり遊べた。
Please, give it back.
嫌だ。これはそなたとの出会いの記念に。文句はないな。
If I said I'm not, would you give it back to me?
わらわは人間の言うことなど聞きはせぬ。しかし、友人の言うことには耳を傾けぬでもない。
So this is how Beato and Gob's friendship is formed? If you give it back, I'll acknowledge you as a friend.
愚かな人間め。それが魅力的な取引とでも思ったか。わらわに取引を持ちかけたくば、神秘の魔法陣の一つも描いてみせよ。と言いたいところだよ。そなたの申し出は考える余地があるだろう。
What do you mean, Imai?
そなたを我が友人として迎えて良いものか預からせてもらおうぞ。何しろ魔女は天の弱。答えを求められたら即答を拒むのが魔女というものよ。
Then, I'll leave the small broom with you. Please give it back when you decide to become my friend.
この報告、そなたとの友情の架け橋となるや否か、しばらく預からせてもらい、それを迷う悦を楽しませてもらおうぞ。
When the witch snapped her fingers, the broom for which I had searched so long fell out of a hole in the air, landing between the fingers she had just snapped.
それではさらばだ。そなたとの遊戯、退屈はしなかったぞ。ぜひまた遊ぼうぞ。
If you're my friend, that is.
猫はネズミをいたぶるとき、友情を育んでからいたぶるというのか
See you, Gop. Or Beato in this case, I guess. The witch faded away. As she did, my mind's eyes slowly closed. When I returned to my body, I felt suddenly tired and let out the breath I'd been holding. Of course, when I turned around, there was no one to be seen. I couldn't feel the witch's presence anywhere anymore. It had gone dark, very dark by this time. I decided to leave the chapel. There's no point in searching for the small broom any longer. Not until the witch decides to give it back. I went out of the chapel. The chapel key had been left in the lock. I used it to lock the door. What am I going to do about the small broom? There's nothing I can do. I can't even blame the witch. I must acknowledge that I'm responsible for giving the witch a chance. I happened to glance downwards and saw a small broom lying there by my feet. It was the broom I had been searching for all this time. Don't tell me that it'll be swallowed up by the dark hole the instant I bend over to pick it up. I don't think it will this time. But you can try. No. This is a sign from the witch. A sign that she acknowledges me as a friend. I picked it up. Oh, I am one yet many.
この島に来て初めてできた友人はどうやら人間ではないようだった。しかし思い返せばそれは当然。魔女の島でできる友人がどうして魔女でなかろうか。これは我とベアトリーチェの初めての出会いである。しかしながら勘のいい諸見はお気づきのように、これは本当のベアトリーチェとの出会いではない。我がベアトリーチェと呼ぶその魔女が後に他の名で呼ばれることだ。しかし人ならざるものであることに違いはない。そして人ならざるものに縁を持つことは人ならざる世界への縁を持つことともなる。我は今でこれより六軒島で数奇なる運命をたどることになるとは知る由もなかったのである。
Clap, 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 clap. Woo! Great stage. That's the end of that chapter. Okay. Okay, that's where we end this part as well. Because I gotta go. I actually do gotta go though, unironically. Dazed and raptured.
ほんと。ヤスはどんくさいだけじゃなく、よく物をなくしたわね。
Alright. I hope you guys enjoyed this part of Umineko when they cry. Next time we'll continue with Dazed and Raptured. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this part of Umineko when they cry, at least as much as I enjoyed reading it. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time for some more more Yasu backstory, I'm sure. Alright, y'all. Peace.